She raised her blaster. "No, but not now, Corporal." Todd pushed the weapon's muzzle down and fixed the mage with a hard stare. "Don't tease her," he snapped. "She's been pulled out of the middle of a perfectly good fight, and her manners haven't caught up yet." That earned him a startled look, followed by consternation. "As you wish," the mage stated. "But if I get called in because her magic gets out of control, she'll find she's not the only one with an aptitude for making artistic rearrangements of other people's anatomies." With that, he turned on his heel and stalked from the command center. Emil stared drop-jawed after him. Todd watched him go, quite prepared to do some rearranging of his own, with his blaster and someone else's atoms. He didn't take his gaze off the group until the door had closed behind them. Then he glared at Ka. "What have I told you about upsetting the resident mages?" She looked at him, then gave him a wide-eyed stare and a smile that failed any attempt to make it look innocent. "I don't know, Sarge. I've never tried to upset them before." Her false naivete didn't fool him for a second, but he had more important matters to deal with. "We need to get back there," he declared. "There's no telling what she's doing." Emil assessed each of them in turn, and finally studied Todd quietly as a faint smile curved his lips. "What?" "Your armor's smoking, and looks like it's done its job. Your weapons are low on ammo, and—" He turned dramatically to the team's engineer. "Pete has run out of grenades. I don't know about you, Todd, but it looks to me like you need to resupply and check in with the medics." The captain paused to let the sergeant take a good look at his team and the civilians who had arrived with them. As the Marine turned to face him again, he continued, "And you haven't introduced us to the newest members of your Earth team," he said reprovingly. "While I've met most of them, I'm very sure there's at least one face here I don't know." He stared directly at Wayne as he spoke, so there was no mistaking who he was referring to. The businessman glanced up, his face pale. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't—" Lars placed a hand on his arm to silence him as he spoke to Emil. "He won't return with us. He's the reason we were in a firefight in the first place." "She threw a house?" Castilian murmured, his eyes wide. "An entire house? Not only a door or a window frame or a part of a house? She threw the whole house." Emil looked from the businessman's shocked face to Todd. "She did," the sergeant confirmed. "They were ready to fire on us from orbit, and she was a little upset." "A little upset?" Wayne exclaimed. "That was a little upset?" "Trust me," Todd told him. "She's much worse when she loses it completely." "Like she's doing now?" Emil prompted, and Ivy turned panicked eyes to Todd. "John's as bad," she whispered. "You know he is. Those two—" Todd pursed his lips and turned to Emil. "You said something about re-equipping?" "And medics," the captain reminded him. "I'm sure I said something about medics, too." "We don't have time," he snapped, and Emil looked at the ceiling. "I'm not sure I can remember the controls to the store's office," he murmured. "And I think they lock it when they go for a meal." "They do not," Ka began, and the Tempestari pretended to clear her throat. "Uh-oh." "Now, Corporal, you know better than that. If my captain says you need to visit medical and resupply, then you do. You know the rules." The woman sighed. Rolling her eyes, she tapped Todd on the shoulder. "Permission to get the hooligans to medical, Sarge?" He gave Emil a tight-lipped look of frustration and nodded curtly. "Make it so, Lieutenant." Ka froze. "What did you call me?" "Nothing, ma'am." "Don't you dare, sir," she snapped, and pivoted on her heel. "Hooligans!"